Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's pre-match press conference ahead of the Group B clash between AEVOP Dragons and Ponbon Ninjas. Representing AEVOP Dragons, we have Coach Lawrence. For the opportunity to ask a question, please raise your hand. As a reminder, when you're given the microphone, please state your name and organization, and you may ask in English, Hindi, Japanese, Portuguese, or French. Audio translations in these languages are available using the channels in front of you. Please make sure your phones are off or on silent. We can begin questions now. We'll start down here.
James Carter from BBC Sport. Matt, coming into this third match, you're facing an unbeaten Ponbon Ninjas side who also have a +9 PD like Buenos Aires Nine Tails. How crucial is this battle for your chances of topping Group B rather than just qualifying?
It's still a bit early to be looking at first place. We've still got a job to do in getting to the knockouts and confirming our place. And we're currently not in pole position to make that happen. Our aim will be to win, and who knows if circumstances favour our chances to potentially go on and take first place, then we can assess that situation there. But getting the result tomorrow is our priority for this week.
Aiko Tanaka NHK Japan. Ponbon Ninjas are very strong defensively and on the counter-attack.
Ponbon Ninjas are very strong defensively and on the counter-attack. How do you plan to deal with their tactics?
Well, we're going to have to use our own strategy to counter what the Ponbon Ninjas have. We've got some Pokemon that we believe can give us the best chance of getting that result. They have 2 Swift Swimmers and various other Pokemon that thrive in a rain-based team. We'll keep our cards close to our chest in terms of assessing and countering, but are aware of what their Pokemon are capable of.
Rajiv Menon, Star Sports India. Your team had a heavy loss in the first match and a dominant win in the second. Is that inconsistency a concern?
Well, I think given it's just 2 games, I'm hoping this is a sign that we've turned a corner and are going to go on a winning run. In order for that to happen, we have to create our own luck, but we feel we've got all the Pokemon to get us the win, and however that may be. But I don't see any inconsistency at this rate. The fact that we've won the last game, it means we've got a chance to build some momentum.
Sofia Almeida, A Bola, Portugal. O espírito do FC Porto é frequentemente mencionado com o AEVOP Dragons.
The spirit of
Como
FC
isso se
Porto is
reflete no
often
estilo de
mentioned
batalha
with
da sua
AEVOP
equipe?
Dragons. How does that reflect in your team's battling style?
Well, regardless on the strategy that we take, we're always going to have fighting spirit and determination to win, and each strategy will have their own theme to it. But within the background of the strategy, we have the Porto spirit in trying to get at the result that we are looking for, and we have our idea to get through the game and to get the win we're looking for.
Claire Dubois, l'équipe, France. Que pensez-vous de votre adversaire, la manager
What do you
française
think
des
of your
Ponbon Ninjas,
opponent,
et
the
de son
French
approche
manager
tactique?
of Ponbon Ninjas, and her tactical approach?
Yeah, she's got off to a good start, and on 2 games that she was potentially considered as the favourite to win quite comfortably. She's used her rain Pokemon very well. She's got a good squad overall. It's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge I'm embracing and welcoming of taking the opportunity of.
Liam O'Connor from Sky Sports. Your squad rotation has been interesting. Players like Clodsire and Baxcalibur made big impacts last match. Should we expect a similar lineup or more changes?
Well, the lineup should speak for itself tomorrow. The majority of our Pokemon are in contention of playing, especially those that can thrive off countering a rain team. There's no promises that even they will get in the lineup. We're going to select a lineup based on the Pokemon we feel are strongest against the opposition squad. So whoever we play, we feel will have potentially have a big matchup in this upcoming game.
ケンジサトポケモンバトルウィークリー、ジャパン、インフェルネープやラティオスのような攻撃的なポケモンは、この試合でも鍵になります
Will
か
offensive Pokemon like Infernape and Latios be key again in this match?
In some senses, yes, offensive Pokemon can be key in this, especially if it's a matter of who's going to be hard attacking first, who gets the upper hand on that sense of. I think the game will speak for itself. There are many ways that either of us could win, but time will tell, and if I have to adapt, then so be it. And we did see Infernape and Latios play in the first game, and both of them contributed in getting Archuladot on down. I'll give no indication of whether they'll play or not, or where they're in the pecking order.
Ananya Sharma from The Hindu. क्या आपको लगता है कि net run rate? Do you think Pokemon difference will play a decisive role in this group?
Well, I think this is a question to ask next week, and if you are posing this question to the Ponbon Ninjas, then perhaps it will be decisive for them. But considering that we're still quite a way behind, it's unlikely we're going to surpass both teams' Pokemon difference. Then it's not something we're really focused on, and if we do get the opportunity to bolster our Pokemon difference, then we'll take that chance. But the we're in at this stage is more important, and we'll plan next week as the circumstances come.
Miguel Santos from Record Portugal. Zapdos e Flores tiveram impacto limitado até agora.
Zapdos and
Podemos esperar mais
Florges have
deles.
had limited impact so far. Can we expect more from them?
I don't necessarily agree that Zapdos has had limited impact. It was one of our main counters in Buenos Aires Ninetales rain team last time. It was our one, if not our only, option of removing hazards last week against the Colorado Doug Trios. And yes, maybe it hasn't had a kill, but it's definitely had a role in both our games so far. Florges, it's not really had the opportunity to do anything, but it's in contention to play A again this time around, and even if it doesn't play, the door's still open for her to make an impact of some kind.
Pierre Laurent, France 24. Ponbon Ninja ont gagné leurs 2 matchs avec autorité. Est-ce que
Ponbon
cela change
Ninjas
votre
have
préparation
won both
mentale?
their matches convincingly. Does that change your mental preparation?
Well, I think those wins that we saw, it's made us aware of what they're capable of doing, especially when we're not on our game. We have our own strategy whilst still building it around the team that they've got and the team that we've got. It doesn't influence our preparation too much.
David Miller, ESPN Global. From a tactical standpoint, how important is controlling momentum in a long battle, especially after your 34-turn performance last week?
Well, it is big to have the upper hand when it comes to controlling the momentum. Being able to have as many options as possible and having the upper hand no matter how it is key, but it's also about how you finish the game. Now, this game could start, play, and end in various different ways, and we've got to manage it in ways that gives us the best chance of winning. Whilst big, we don't necessarily think that it's going to be one of these games that will be grinding. But we're open for any sort of game.
愛子田中 NHK ジャパン。ポンボン Ninjas are very strong defensively and on the counter attack. How do you plan to deal with their tactics?
Well, as far as first place goes, the pressure's not really on us, given where we are and where the Ponbon Ninjas are above us. I think that's a question for the opposition, considering where they are at now, and if next week we are in contention to get at first place, then maybe there'll be some pressure, but also factoring in the fact that this team is a debutant in the tournament, so there's not really the expectations to go and top with. Adding on to the fact that there's a superstar manager with Buenos Aires Ninetales at the helm. Our focus is on this game and what we can do in terms of getting the win we want, and as I said, if the opportunity to get first place approaches us, then we'll assess and see what we can do next week. But aiming for first place is not within our plans for this match day.
Santiago Barbero Forte YX Exports. This will be the second rain-based team that should be facing this tournament. What lessons did you learn from your match with Buenos Aires 9 Tales that could help this week?
Well, the fact that you're playing another rain team does give us like a second opportunity to have another go. And the fact that they've got Pelipper, Archuladon, and Orgapon Wellspring, all of them played against us, and having the opportunity to go again. There were some little lessons around those specific Pokemon that we took, especially the Orgapon Wellspring. We know how capable of it is of sweeping teams, and it's not played as of yet for the Ponbon Ninjas, but their manager may find that she wants to bring it in for this game. And there were some other lessons around Pelipper. Basically, our lessons are small details from the Pokemon that we're going to be facing again this time around.
Carlos Mendes, ESPN Brasil. A defesa dos Ponbon Ninjas parece muito sólida.
Ponbon Ninjas' defense looks very solid, especially with Pokemon like Arcaladon and Mukalola. How do you plan to break that resistance?
Well, we'll be starting Pokemon and giving moves to those that we feel have the capability of taking them on, and we've assessed moves that we think will give us the best chance of knocking those Pokemon out. Their weaknesses are quite limited, but we're aware of what we need to do, and also try and get an idea of how their manager might try and counter what we put forward. But the rest of our planning will be confidential.
प्रिया कपूर एनडीटीवी स्पोर्ट्स। अगर यह मुकाबला अंत तक कड़ा रहता है, तो क्या आपके पास कोई विशेष रणनीति? If this match remains close until the end, do you have any special strategy for clutch moments?
Well, it's going to be a very situational scenario, because we don't know which Pokemon are going to, from our side and their side, could be their heir. But I think we'll that's a moment where adaptability and in-game management comes into play, and we got to and the game will likely be won or lost based on reading of the game. But we may have some special strategy depending on that scenario. What we do in those kind of moments will be to be determined.
Thank you everyone for your questions and attendance today. That concludes the pre-match press conference ahead of what promises to be a very exciting Group B clash between AEVOP Dragons and Ponbon Ninjas. We appreciate your time and coverage from across the world. We look forward to seeing you all at Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee Stadium tomorrow. Safe travels, and enjoy the match.